everyone, and welcome back to our channel today. And in the video that I'm going to be doing for you today, I'm going to be turning this sweatshirt to this, an open face cardigan sweatshirt. So keep watching and you'll see how I managed to do this. Hello everyone. Okay, and I'm going to show you now some of the things you'll need if you decide to do this project. You're going to need a tape measure, some kind of a marking tool. I've got tailor's chalk, seam binding to match, a pair of good scissors, and depending if you're going to leave it open or closed with buttons, you'll need buttons. Now the first thing I need to do is measure across the width of it so that I can cut it in the center. I don't have a table big enough to completely lay it out, so I'm going to have to do it a little bit at a time. And it looks like it's about 27 inches. So we're going to split 27 inches in half. The way I do that, I just fold my tape measure up. I get the 27 inches. I put the end of the tape measure to the 27 inches and just fold the tape measure and follow it to the end, and where it falls at, that's where I'm going to cut it. So it looks like I need to cut it at 13 and a half. So we'll bring this back up here. Get one of our markers out that we're going to use. And just put it on the t-shirt or the sweatshirt. Thirteen and a half is right here. It's out of y'all's line of view. Let me see if I can. That ain't helping any. Let me go back this way. There it is. Okay. 13 and a half is right here. So I make a little mark. Then I pull the bottom up and do the same thing. 13 and a half, and make a little mark. Then I mark it all the way down to the edge of the sweatshirt. And you see that? I'm trying to figure out which direction to pull it so that you guys can see it. And then well, it's not matching up, but just go ahead and make your line up the middle. Now after you get it marked, see the line in the middle? You're going to cut it down that line. This isn't exact science, y'all, but it will work. This sweatshirt was actually given to me last year for Christmas. And I don't wear sweatshirts because I get hot. And that means putting them on and taking them off, which means pulling them over your head. So I figured if I open it up, I can wear it like a lightweight jacket or a cardigan. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay, I have it cut open. Now, if you wanted to, you could just leave it like this and wear it. It'll work just fine. But I bought some of this yellow seam binding. I want to kind of dress it up a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to need to do is measure all around this outside edge to make sure that I've got enough tape. And the way I do that, I just take this and go all the way around the whole entire shirt measuring. Looks like about 26. So once again, we're going to fold it in half, this time folding it at the 26. Then come down here to where your 1 is, flip it over, and I'm going to need 52 inches of seam binding. So let's check and make sure I bought enough. I bought 3 yards. Oh, I'm hoping that's enough. If it's not, I'm going to have to make another trip to the store before I can finish this video. 3 yards. So now I'm going to measure and see if I've got enough of this tape measure, or not tape measure, but this seam binding. Yes, I do have enough. More than enough. Okay, so we're good to go on having enough tape. Now the next thing we're going to do is take this over to the sewing machine and put this seam binding on the edge of the coat. Now the next step is going to be to put the seam binding on here using these little seam clippers, these sewing clips that I got from Temu. And they are also in a little plastic case that I got from Temu. So what we do is we take one end of the seam binding, fold it into a square so that it makes a nice square. And we're going to start that up here at the top. But what we need to do is put it on there like this, fold this over, and then fold that. That way it makes a nice smooth thing on there. Let me do that again. Having a little difficulty with it. There's the first one. Then you go all the way down, the whole thing, putting this on. So let me do that, then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, and here we have the seam binding attached to the side. Now while I'm sewing it, I may end up moving out the clips a little bit and readjusting it. To dress it up a little bit more, I think I'm going to use a fancy stitch. So I think I'm going to just go with a zigzag stitch, a number 7. So we turn our sewing wheel on number 7. Then we get it lined up underneath the needle and we'll be ready to sew. I decided that the easiest way to do it is to start in the middle, go down, and then I'll come back and catch that top, because that top was kind of unraveling and giving me problems. So let's take it from here. Make sure this is on up in there the whole way. And now we sew. Now when you get to the end, you want to nip it off a little bit longer than the edge of the shirt. So we're going to nip it right there. And these are the nipper scissors that I got from Temu. Then when you get to the end, you're going to fold that up and under and tuck it inside of the hem. When you get to the hem, you want to back stitch it. Okay, here's what the seaming looks like. I don't know if you can see the little fancy stitches that I put in there. Now all I got to do is go back and finish the top hem. Now I ended up finishing the top stitch with just a regular stitch because it wasn't wanting. It was pretty thick here, and it wasn't wanting to sew across that thick. So all you have to do now is trim your threads and do your other side. So I will do the other side off camera, and then when I get it done, I'll put it on and show you what it looks like. And here it is finished. Now later on I may put some buttons on it. And if y'all want to see the buttons, just leave it in the comments down below if I put buttons. But I could just leave it like an open cardigan. You know, just something to slip on when the weather's a little bit chilly. I don't like wearing big heavy coats, especially when I'm driving. So this is going to be perfect for this winter. So that's what it looks like with the seam binding down it. If I put buttons on it, I'm going to make it to where it matches up just like this. There'll be a button on this side and a button over here with a loop across the middle. Thank you for coming and viewing this video. And y'all come back and see us any old time. Bye for this one.